I'm going to end with a few stories of people I've met who I think these are like vulnerable groups who are kind of who need more help. There are help systems available for them, but some of them don't know where to get it, and they're falling through the cracks. So here go. And this is a couple I met last year. It's Mr. Ang and his wife, Madam Lee. They were surviving on less than $300. They were actually surviving on $297, two of them together per month. This is after he lost his job, and he was getting this $297 from his CPF payouts. Mind you, the government has something called public assistance payments for those who are too old or too poor to work. And a couple these days gets public assistance of $700. So the two of them were actually living on less than half of that per month. How did they manage? They would, every day they'd work to this Buddhist temple for food. And this lady, she just said, on days when I don't have when I don't have the strength to walk, then she just drinks water and she sleeps. Now, when I met them, they hadn't actually even gone to the CDCs to seek help. So, I was really surprised. And, when I asked them, it was like they kept saying, no, too troublesome lah. It's okay, we go to the Buddhist temple. So this actually reflects quite a growing trend, I think, where they're particularly older Chinese, they feel they lose face, if they go to seek help. So they just try to get by with whatever they can. And later, of course, the day I visited, they showed me their bank book, and it was really sad. It had $3.44 left in it, and of course, later on, they did apply for CDC help, and they got it. And I think the CDC was working with them to get Mrs. Lee, Madam Lee, a job. This is again another family I met. I just went to a food queue. Actually, those of you who are curious about like where I get to. I don't call agencies and ask them to show me poor people. Someone actually asked me in a talk. So I'm just clarifying up front. I just went to one of a free food distribution center, and I followed the person who had the most like frayed looking clothes, I just went to her and I said that, what's your story? And then I dropped in totally unannounced to their home, and I found this elderly couple, the lady on the chair and her husband. They were sitting on the floor outside. It was a sweltering hot day. They had no fans, and they told me they were saving electricity. Then this family, essentially, they actually have a 4-room flat not too far from, in Jalan Bahagia, which is kind of close to the city. But the government often says, you should downgrade, you can sell your flat and so forth. But there is this group, and that's when I realized that not everybody has children who are more successful than them. I mean, these guys have 3 kids, and 2 of them work in really low-paying jobs, and right now they can't afford an HDB flat, so they're living with them. Plus, the lady on the extreme right, that's Madam Gan's sister, who's unemployed and has nowhere else to go, so she also lives with them. So 8 of them live in this 4-room flat. So, obviously they can't really downgrade right now. They have a younger son in an ITE. They're hoping once he gets out, maybe things will look up for them. This group too, right now, I think they are getting CDC help. But, I just dropped in unannounced, and sometimes the family situation is more complicated, so, they might be living in a big flat, but they might not be able to downgrade, Then, of course, Robin alluded to low wages, and this is Madam Norshia, who is a cleaner. In fact, I got to know her because someone told me that, there's this lady who's a brilliant cleaner and she should be given an award, and she's really excellent. And then I met her, and she's a town council cleaner, works very, very hard, been working for more than 15 years. I think in 2000 or 1999 she used to earn $1,200. When I met her, she was earning, I think, about $800. So this is one group, and if you look at gross wages for cleaners, I mean, MOM stats also, between 2000 and 2010, they've actually fallen from about, I think, 1,200 to about 960. That's because, not just because of the inflow of foreign workers, because actually 70% of our cleaning force is local. That's because many of these cleaners have very unfair contracts. Their cleaning companies are forced to enter into really unfair contracts, with town councils, with the, MCSTs of the condos you guys live in, and, with shopping malls. So it's what NTUC calls cheap sourcing. So people they just want the cheapest deal possible, and there's no way you can pay a worker fairly if you have to cut the cheapest deal. So she's another such lady, and of course her problems, though she's very cheerful and she has 3 kids in tertiary education now, she's also a single mother, so she was supporting her kids single-handedly. Another group I think can be helped more are the disabled, really living on the fringes of our society. These 2 guys, they work, I think, 7-hour shifts packing cutlery, and excluding CPF contributions and transport costs, they earn $300 a month. So that's, again, lower than the public assistance payments today. Of course, they work in something which is known as a sheltered workshop, where, the disabled who might not be able to get a job in the open market, they work here. But, I mean, just think for yourself. These guys are working 5-7-hour shifts. Do they really deserve to be paid like $300? Just Google how much a packer gets in the United States. You'd be shocked. So, again, just because they have some physical disabilities, they are kind of, they find it difficult to get jobs. And they were really telling me about how hard it is to even get one meal for less than $3, And so they really struggle a lot. This is Madam Kamala. She's not a single mother. Actually, this is another group which could be helped a little bit more. These are single mothers. Madam Kamala's daughter is actually the single mother, and she has 4 kids, and like 8 of them live in this little 1-room rental flat. The lady, she works 2 jobs, so she gets in about $1,500 a month, which is not bad. But the problem is she's still waiting for a flat, and because she had, some kids out of wedlock, she couldn't initially apply. But also, that's something, again, the rules are sometimes so complicated that people don't know about it. When she told me, I had kids out of wedlock, I can't apply, I said, no, but you had one when you were, she was married to another guy before. So she has one child who she had before she got divorced. And so, now she's applied with that child, and I think she's waiting for a flat. So again, mothers, actually increasingly single-parent households who earn very little. This is another group that I think is quite vulnerable right now. So this was a very, very quick snapshot of people, I think, in our society who are kind of on the fringes, struggling quietly, and they could do with more help. I want to bring up here that every year the government is strengthening safety net spending more. It's improved substantially since, say 5-10 years ago. But the problem is, I think all of us need to kind of look at how we can help. There are portals. There's this one way is through volunteering. You could take give tuition to a kid in a 1-room rental flat, or take them out for an outing. And there's a very, very good portal called sggives.org. I don't know, sgcares.org. Check it out. It offers volunteering opportunities. And last year I visited the elderly poor in several countries in Europe and the USA. And the one big takeaway for me was that it's not just the government that does a lot. It's society there. I mean, individuals and VWOs, everybody's pitching in. And that's something I hope we can do more of one day as well.